Okay, welcome to part two. Apologies for the sound quality in the last episode. I didn't realise until during editing, obviously, how poor it was. But hopefully, there's something I can do about that before I actually physically upload it. So, if you've seen it and it's okay, then that's what I did. If you've seen it and it's not okay, then I wasn't able to do anything with it. Anyhow, part two, fitting the new exhaust system. What we're going to do is we're going to get the stainless parts out of the box, loosely assemble them, have a look at what we've got, and start fitting them onto the bike. Okay, let's crack on. Okay, that's roughly how they're going to go. Make sure the little rubber grommets are all the way around properly. I'll leave that one off for the moment. In fact, I'll leave them both off. We'll put them on after we've got the system on the bike. Feed it in. Looks okay. And there we are. Right, let's get a clamp. And there we go. That's nice and tight. Fitting nice and snug. The end of the bolt is clear of the linkage for this, for the shock as well, so it's not going to foul. Looking good. Okay, so let's grab our grab the hangers. Now they're going to be about there. Obviously, these are going to be fitted when the luggage goes back on, because that long bolt has to go through with the luggage. So I'll position them in the rough place where they're going to go. Like so. Make sure everything looks properly aligned. Yep, all looks good. Next, set the mudguard back on. Obviously in this instance, refitting is reverse, the fitting is reverse of removal. Okay, next. Okay, what I've done here is I've just loosely fitted these long bolts in just to take the strain, the weight of the exhaust system while I go about putting everything else back on, and then obviously we'll come back to these. What I need to do is make sure that the alignment's correct, and then I can tighten these clamps, and then once that's done I can look at getting the seat unit back on. Okay, so now it's time to fit the tow unit. Obviously the exhaust is loosely assembled. We'll come along at the end and make sure everything's nice and tight. But for now we'll put the tow unit back on. Obviously it's a damn sight easier to connect up the rear lights whilst the tow unit isn't on the bike. Plug all the connectors in, obviously making sure they go to the right ones. If you've forgotten which ones are which, just get your manual out and just check the wiring colours in the wiring diagram. It's always good to have a manual knocking about. As a general rule, they tend to kind of, with wiring, it tends to like to stay kind of in the position it's been in. It doesn't like to necessarily move about. So as a rough guide, you may find that the wires are in the rough places where they're intended to go. And there we go. The bolts for the shoulders were the ones at the front. These ones were at the back. I am not left-handed, even remotely. Same on the other side. And there we go. So, tow unit's back on. Exhaust system loosely assembled. Now what we need to do is make sure that these line up in the right place. Obviously we've got a little bit of wiggle room, and then once they're in the right place we can then tighten the clamps and then look at putting the luggage back on. Getting there though. Okay, the next thing to go on is the rear rack. The rear rack has these spacers which are going to be sitting about here. So I now need to pull these out. Keep them to one side, and then once this rack's on, I can then tighten everything up and hopefully get all the joints on the exhaust system tightened, and it'll all fall into place. Come on. This is where I could do with 3 hands. We've got the bushing. That one's almost in there. These long bolts will have to come back out again to put the side racks on, but I need them in place for the moment in order to get all this in place, which is a bit of a pain, but unfortunately there's not a great deal I can do about it. Let's try that one the other way around. It's a bit better. Okay, let's get the rear grips on. Bit of a mess about trying to make sure everything's aligned before you tighten everything down, so get everything in by hand first so that you're not cross-threading anything. Other hand grip. And now that they're in by hand, we can tighten them down. including the one with the 3 washers. Okay, so that's the rocks on. Looking alright from the back, they look quite tidy. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to get under here and tighten up these clamps. These clamps here, that one there and that one there. And then they are in position and they're not going to move anywhere. Then we can look at these and getting the side racks on. Getting there though, getting there. It's looking alright. It's looking okay so far. Okay, so it's nice and tight. That one's a bit stiff in a minute. Let's loosen it off a touch. Loosen it off a touch so I can turn it round. Come on. Stop being a pest. There, that's got you. Right, let's give that a whack up. Come on. There we go, that's nice and tight. Right, I'll tighten the one at the bottom again. Make sure it's staying where it's supposed to be. There we are, gift. Looking pretty tidy. Sitting evenly in the tow unit. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Okay, now, side racks. Let's move you lot over there. There we go. Right then, so obviously that one goes in here, that one goes up to there, and this one goes to the back here. So Okay, here she is, off the stand. Retorqued the rear wheel nuts, 108 Newton meters, and here's the exhaust system, fully installed, nice and shiny, looking pretty sweet. Now, all that really remains is to fire her up and see what she sounds like. Well, I'm pretty pleased with that.